Greenhouse tour seems like it's kind of a narrow name now to describe what we do. After COVID, we decided to expand. I'm Nancy Levine, and I'm a member of the Green Homes Garden Tour Committee. We operate under the USGBC, U.S. Green Building Council, and specifically under the California chapter. And we've been holding garden tours for we've held about 10, but not contiguously for 10 years. I think the earliest ones may have been like in the 2000 and early teens. And we had a lot of houses then, and we focused in areas all over the city. And after COVID, and we lost a lot of our committee members. So those of us that were left decided that we would just focus on smaller areas and pick a specific theme. So what we're doing now this time is sustainable, water smart and sustainable building in Escondido. Well, in the old days, in the pre-COVID days, we had maybe between, I'm going to say 10 to 15 homes. We used to have a lot of realtors that were involved, and they were interested in green buildings, so they could recommend their clients. And at that time, I think the first tour I ever went on, there were a couple of houses in La Jolla Shores. There were some out in East County, some down in Jamul, some in North County. But like I said, with just the three of us involved, we try to focus in an area close together. We only have it on one day, so we like to plan it so that you can see each site in that one day. So what we try to do, Greenhouse Tour seems like it's kind of a narrow name now to describe what we do. After COVID, we decided to expand. One of our tours, we featured only one location, and it was an apartment building in San Diego that's built very small and very green. We also try to pick a theme. Last February, we did one on electrification, and we had 4 homes in North County that were in various stages of electrification. And let's see, we did another one that was green backyards. We did a backyard where people are growing their own food. That's in San Diego. And one of my friends has a pool that she's converted into a pond. So in La Mesa, we did that. And she has these beautiful koi fish. Not koi fish, but koi. And so it was beautiful to sit around her garden and see the fish. So we find that our new format gives us a way to kind of focus on small areas for either location or theme or both. So that's basically what we're doing now. Well, we don't have specific, there's a lot of us that are on the committee. We don't have particular committee heads or anything like that. We all work together, and I've been doing this with Lynn Mitchke and with Mylen Merlot, and we've put this together. Basically the three of us have put it together. So this time we have only 3 sites, but we feel like we've picked some very interesting ones. There's a big variety, so we're excited about that. I think the residential committee was formed in 2011, and I wasn't involved then, so I don't know exactly what they do. And we didn't keep very detailed records there. So in other words, you can't go back on our website any further than 2011, and 2017, and see the tours that were on the homes that were on the tour in 2017. So because after COVID, as I said, a lot of our committee members, they didn't return after COVID. So those of us that are still here have tried to just do the best we can and at least offer something. Yes, we're always looking to expand and have members, yes. Like they can become a committee member, and basically we have a monthly meeting. It's the first Wednesday of the month at noon, and basically what we talk about is, like, now we're focusing on what are all the things that we need to do, to get this tour moving along, and do we have all the insurance forms from our sites, and we're working still on the transportation to bring people from the site, Drew Hubble's site, because there's limited parking there. So, just kind of the logistics of getting it all going. Yannick actually contacted one of our members and said he had won the, I don't know if it was Water Smart, I think it's a Water Smart award, and said he'd like his home to be featured here. And then we also knew of the architect Drew Hubble, and he's done a lot of building in North County, some private homes and some public spaces. And so we contacted him, and he suggested that we use the place where we're going to have his work on display. And then when we found out that KB Homes has built this fire-resistant subdivision in Escondido, that's how we did that. So basically, it's kind of word of mouth, and then talking to people to see who would be interested. Is it a place where realistically we could offer something to the public? One of the advantages of having the homeowner or someone who represents the site on site is that they can ask any questions, and like Yannick gave us so much information, that a normal person wouldn't necessarily know. So, we like to have our docents that will be here helping people to be able to answer some of the questions, but yet then people can talk to Yannick. So we talk to people and we see, like, would you be interested in having your home on a tour? And then we try to fit the theme around the people who are wanting to do it, whether it's just in the geographic area or, like I said before, we did the electrification. Those were kind of spread out, but mostly in North County. So they kind of come together based on what we have. The requirements really are that you have something that's interesting, would be interesting to people, and that you have a space that, we don't want to put people in a dangerous place. So, not big slopes or, we like to also make sure there's parking around the area, and that, for example, we don't encourage our guests to use the bathrooms at the homeowners. So, we like to know that, okay, I don't know, whatever is around here, but someplace, a public place where you could go, like, a McDonald's or something, and use the bathroom. So I don't think we've ever turned anybody away, but I don't know, because I'm relatively new. Our purpose really is to help people get started. And basically, like what Yannick was saying, you find out, well, what is it that you'd like to do? Like, do you want to get rid of your gas dryer? Do you want to cut down on your utility expenses? Maybe you want to install solar, or you want to do electrification of your appliances, something like that. So the way in, I think, is finding something that you are interested in, because as he said, it makes it a lot easier to do it if you're interested in it. When I moved here, I wanted to become a master gardener. I lived in New Jersey for a while, and I was a gardener there and also in Las Vegas. But by comparison, all you had to have in New Jersey was an interest and a willingness to go through the program. I don't think there was a big selection process. But in San Diego, they're very selective, and no one was going to be around. Oh, I'm sorry, they weren't taking any new participants for a year or so. And since I was new back in San Diego, I grew up here. I looked for something else, and I found the California Native Plant Society, and I joined that. And I'm still a member there, and then that's how I kind of found this too. I like to go on garden tours and home tours and all that kind of stuff. And my friend was telling me, she said, I just go as a volunteer, and then you get to see kind of behind the scenes. And so that's really what got me involved in this. I think my favorite part is meeting the people that are involved in this. And plus, I wouldn't have gotten to know and meet Yannick and, spend time in this beautiful garden without this. So it's a whole different group of people. There's an overlap between the native gardeners and people that are interested in sustainable building. So it kind of seemed like a natural fit. So, like, one of my closest friends I met through the Native Plant Society. And she's the one I was saying that has the, she converted her swimming pool into a pond with the koi. So it's given me a nice community to belong to. And also, it feels like it's something that's pretty important to do these days. For future ones, what we're planning next is we have a few people in, I believe, Encinitas, Carlsbad, and Oceanside who have also expressed an interest in being on our tour. So we hope in the fall we'll have that lined up. And, that'll be based on whether or not they're still willing to participate and the features of their homes that seem interesting. Sometimes we go inside the homes and like in this case, we'll be in Yannick's garden. We don't try to do tours for every season because, first of all, there's really only about 3 of us that are active. And there's a lot involved in putting the tour together. We have to get insurance and making sure that we have enough to say about the sites and that we have the homeowners or garden owners that are interested in participating and how much do they want to speak. We hope to have something in Chula Vista in May. There is an electrification fair in Chula Vista, and we're hoping to have a home or 2 that will be electrified in Chula Vista with homeowners that are willing to participate in the fair. And Lynn, my other committee member, she's basically working on that. She has a lot of contacts in Chula Vista. So anyway, that will be May, but that will just be maybe a home or 2 on the same day as the electrification fair, and I believe that's May 19th. So we'll have a table there at the fair describing what we do, and then we also will have publicized those homes. And then, as I said, in the fall, we hope to have the ones on the coast. For our tour on the 19th, Yannick's home will be available from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For the speaker, Drew Hubble, he's only available from 10 until 12. So his presentation will be from 10:30 to 11:30, and then he'll be around for a little while to answer questions. And the person who's going to speak on Zone Zero, he'll be available. His presentation is from 1:30 to 2:30, and then he'll be there until 3 to answer questions. At that site, we also hope to have information on Zone Zero so that our participants can take it away, find out whether or not they live in a Zone Zero, if they have to do it. And I will say this, that if you're building new, you have to comply with Zone Zero. For those of us living in a Zone Zero location, I think you're supposed to take care of it during 2027. And it has to do with whether or not your homeowner's insurance will cover you if you don't go along with the Zone Zero requirements. Because, I'm sure you've heard about how difficult and expensive it can be to get homeowners insurance in California because of all the flooding and fires and etc. So this way we hope to have our homeowners educated as to what to expect, what they can do, and so that's a piece that we're still working on, getting those materials for the homeowners. So our next tour will be Sunday, April 19th, and it starts at 10 o'clock. It's over at 3 o'clock, and you can register on our website going through usgbc-ca.org, and that's U.S. Green Building Council-CA, because we're now all under the State of California headquarters. Headquarters. And then on the website, you can find our tour and you can enroll that way. We also will have signs around, so if people want to come, and because our main purpose is education, people can come at the last minute. They don't have to have a ticket. And if they're driving around and they see our signs or whatever, they're welcome to come as well. Thank you very much for interviewing us, and it was a pleasure to see you here at this beautiful spot at Yannick's home. And we look forward to seeing you on Sunday, April 19th from 10 to 3 in the Escondido area, and you're in for a treat. We have great speakers and beautiful locations. So thank you again. Bye.